Welcome to Echotraders. It is Tuesday, 12:30. We just completed an open house, a successful open house, I would say. I want to look at your YM trade. We had a risk to reward calculator on there, and we talked about this here earlier in that webinar about the going to a $300 target. I'm going to take that off. You guys saw it earlier. You know what it's all about. Okay, remove that. All right. We talked about your risk to reward. We talked about a bull flag. The bull flag took 2 hours and then went to, we talked about 1 to 9. 1 to 9 win. We talked about 1744.35. Beautiful. All right. What else did we talk about? The pullback, the support and resistance, and everything in between is support and resistance, and then the resistance is broken to the upside. We would look at that becoming your new support and resistance, and then your larger resistance upside. 1 to 9. Where are you getting 1 to 9? Hey, right? Okay. My name is Dale Elliott. Let's look at ES in the center. We talked about the rule of thumb trade. Rule of thumb. We talked about the support. This here heavy blue arrow coming down. Let me get rid of this guy. This guy. For clarity purposes, we talked about exceeding 2026.50 right here. Exceeding that, you would aim for your next target. Larger time frame would be 2029 and 1/4. Blistered up through there. Look left. Larger time frame. Here you go. You're into your extension targets. Let's bring those over. I'm just going to draw a line on here real quick. We're going to keep this here very short. This is a money off. Look what happens if you don't lock in your money. That's bad news, right? Here's your target, the blue one. We talked about your target. Here it is. These are the fibs that we put on while you were in the open house. This is your recording recap live about an hour after the session. Okay? Targets reached, targets, larger time frame, rule of thumb, risk to reward. We talked about a lot of stuff this morning. Double top resistance. You remember that? Let me zoom in on that. Here we go. Does that look more familiar? Double top resistance. When we closed the webinar, it was somewhere around something looking like that. Maybe even like that. Okay, somewhere there. What's that time frame? 11:16. That's roughly when we close the room. So your rule of thumb hadn't materialized. Watch what happens as it materializes. Rule of thumb. What are you looking for? There it is. And then back to your EMA. How good is that? And then what? Takes off to the upside. Boom. All right. That's your ES. This year chart kind of stalled on us earlier. We're replacing that chart. Okay. CL on the left-hand side. We talked about a target 37.91. We showed you on the larger time frame where the target came from. Let's see if I can find the larger time frame chart. It's now over here. Let's go to this just as a wake-up reminder chart. Okay, larger time frame. We talked about 37.91. How did we come up with that number? Well, we know how to do it. Okay, we give you lots. Market, test that support. What did we put here? Support. You're going to recognize when you join us support and resistance like you never recognized it before. I know a lot of you do recognize it already, but as well as you need to, well, we talked about the 76 tick target times $10 a tick, $760. All right. Could you make the whole thing? You could, but did you? Probably not. What about the fibs in the other direction when the time comes? Look what happens. MACD crosses, gives you the heads up, plenty of time to participate. Drop your plum down, get into the trade. Wow. Okay. Let's zoom in here on what we're looking at. Support and resistance. Remember this line right here? Let me see if I can scrunch that so you can see it. Whoop, whoopie-doo, whoopie-doo. Here it is. Let me extend it over. I think we said 52 or 53. Let me back up here, just double check. Okay, 38.53. Beautiful. 38.50C. 3. 3. All right. Let me put the numbers on the other side here. 1 second. Whoops, wrong guy. Let me get this one. Let me just move them over. 53. Beauty. Whoop. Get down there, you. There you go. All right. 53. Let's go to the live time frame. MACD crosses. Hey, look for it. Found it. We told you about your short position, the doji, getting out of your short position. How long did you have to get out of that short position? Hours. An hour and a half from 10 to 10 to 11:30. You had an hour and a half to get out of your short position. Look for the opposite direction. If you did that, you looked at confluence, 38.53, and this one, let me bring it up on top. 38.52, where did the market come to? I'll put the crosshairs on here. 38.52. What beautiful targets. Could you use fibs in the future for your trading career? Yes, of course. Will you is another story. All right. What else did we say on here? 37.91. Look at the low of the day. 37.91. Who does that for you? Well, we do it every day. Every day. All right. If you didn't trade long, but you did recognize getting out of your short position so you don't do what? As you've done in the past, maybe, if you're like me, give it all back. Don't give it all back. Bad habit. All right, bad habit. 38.52 is a little hard to see, but you can see when I put that crosshair on there, the market came to that target. Isn't that a beautiful target? What happened when it came to this money off target? Let me put the money off targets on. What happens when they come to the money off? Right here, 38.24. Where's your entry? From below. Do we care where? Well, we sort of do. From below the EMA. Hey, look, nice target. Don't know where you're going to get in, but we know we have a target to take some of the money off. If you take some of the money off, you expect a pullback. Start expecting pullbacks, looking for them. What are you going to do? Put the money back on. Where are you going? To your next target. Where did the market come to? To that target. Boom. 38.52 and 53. Nice confluence targets. How about 38.61? Would that be a nice exit target for part of your position? You bet it would be. Nice targets. Fibs for targets, guys. Fib for targets. Okay, test 1, 2, 3. Great. I'm back. 38.61. Look at 38.61. I'll put the crosshairs on it. It comes one tick beyond. You get filled at targets. Huge difference from the way you used to trade. We'll show you how. Come and see us. Echotraders.com. Thanks for taking a few minutes of your precious day and being with us earlier. We'll get you a better recording. This is what you were looking at. You'll recognize the black and yellow money off in that center there. That's what the kind of chart. Now this here is an hour after you've already left the webinar. What we look for, that MACD, remember? That cross on the MACD, do you remember that? Okay, great targets, wonderful targets, fibs for targets. You'll make a lot of money. Okay, we talked about the YM, the 1 to 9. Boom, we loved 1 to 9. What happened at 1 to 9? She backed off, back down here too. Check out that resistance. See that? That's the one that you had on your chart when you were in the room. Okay, great. And here's your ES chart that kind of seized up on us in the room earlier. And we talked about rule of thumb. Well, it did take a pullback. It took us out of that trade. It's up to you to get back into the trade. Boom. All right. Till next time, trade well, my friends. Again, thanks for joining us.